That's something we'd have to test. I don't have a document camera. Do you have one, Oak?
At school, if I run up there, I can grab mine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something we could brainstorm. I mean, the document camera is just sharing the video screen with your computer, so I don't see why it would be an issue. So that's something we could work on. And if you hook up with me on that on the side, we'll try to figure that one out. Those of you that just joined in, if you look in the comments section, there is a link to a Google Doc. So if you have any questions in there, you could type them in there as well. And this is something you can go back to. I'm just going to answer questions in there after we're done too, if we don't get to them all. Is there any questions specifically with people that are struggling with Google Classroom, didn't have their Google Classroom set up? Because I know some people at the high school might have not had Classroom set up. How do we go about getting them set up? Mass importing of those emails could be another issue that I thought I could discuss with some people. Anybody having an issue with that?
Could you repeat that again? The question asked what?
So we do have a email roster for every student in the district. It is an Excel spreadsheet that's been shared with us before. And I know some people in the middle school did not have Google Classroom set up. So the kids left before they could get them into it. So they had to invite the students through like importing a mass amount of emails to a class for them to be able to get the kids into Google Classroom. So if that's something you need to do, we could share that Excel spreadsheet with you again. So you can just, instead of having to type in every single kid's name, you can just go to their graduation year and find them and copy and paste them in multiple at a time. And it looks like Yvette just shared that. Thank you, Yvette.
Hey, can I mention something about the Google?
Good.
So I set up 6 Google Classrooms last night for my first grader. And so what was great is if we're going that method for you as a teacher, I was able to already go in today and hit that he completed an assignment for the week. And then that teacher will know that assignment is already done. And I'm sure that's a feature that it was like at the top. And I could just put, boom, he completed that. So we talked a little bit about that yesterday, of like being able to kind of track kids' work. So if you're creating that Google Classroom, you'll have that option.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Something I mentioned to the middle school staff yesterday about trying to create as little of a crazy workflow for you in Google Classroom. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see what I did. And a colleague of mine, gave me this idea that they were going to do it. And basically, if you're familiar with Google Classroom, you can push out assignments. So I created an assignment and named it individual work log. So how you would do this is you go to a Google Doc, you create it in your Drive, and then when you get into Google Classroom, you just create an assignment. And when I put this into my Google Classroom, each individual student is getting a copy of this. But what's nice about it is you'll see when I click on this assign, it's centrally located for me. So what I instructed my students to do is every day if I have them typing something, now obviously I gave them the packets to work on as well, so if they don't have the computer, they can do it. But the students that do, I can literally just go into this and to one of my classes and look at an individual student's work log and see what they completed today. And I instructed them on the next day to just go above this and enter their next work that they're doing above, so I don't have to scroll through every time. So if you can do something like this, you literally could have 2 weeks of their input on one document and not have to worry about jumping back and forth through 5 classes worth of each kid having a document each assignment, and it could be centrally located. And what's nice about this is you're the owner as well. So, excuse me, they can't delete it, and you can track how long have they been working in the document, stuff they deleted. So there's tons of stuff you could do if you just created a document like this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you guys. Is there anybody else that had some ideas or thoughts they wanted to share with the group that they did today that they thought worked well while I try to quiet my dog down?
So I had a question. I created a quiz to finish off the chapter that we were in, and I don't know if I should. It tells me when I go into the quiz, I have the option to import grades, but I don't want to do that yet because if I do that once, but let's say if I haven't taken the quiz, can I import again?
I just got back, so if you could repeat that, I'm sorry.
So I created a quiz.
On like a Google form?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I import grades more than one time?
When you mean import grades, what do you mean by that?
So the form, I put the responses, right? So
Yeah.
so that they can see what they got wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that Google Forms can grade their work.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess I need to hit that button so I can see their grades, right? Because right now I can't see them.
So I'm going to switch over to my screen just to, so like I was working on creating a quiz today. You all right there, Oak?
Oh yeah, I thought all that whining noise was Buzz.
I don't have to answer that question.
Here's an assessment I was creating. So in settings, you go to quiz. You obviously checked all these, and you put release grade immediately after each submission. So that would show them that. Like it would show them their grade right away and which ones they got wrong and the correct answers.
Right.
So what are you asking on top of that? You could do it later so they don't see their grade right away, and you would have to forcefully push it to them like once they're all done.
But I can't see their grade.
If you can't see their grade in Google Classroom, that means they didn't take it yet. So like, this is the question too. Did you make it a quiz?
Yes. So I'm in where you can see the instruction and then student work, and then you can see how many students turned it in, how many students are still assigned.
Oh, okay. So I think you actually have to go into Google Form to see the grades.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you go into Google Form and you look at my screen, you see how it says question? And then it says responses. The responses will be in there.
So that's where I will see their grades.
That's where you'll see their grade, yes.
So I don't need to hit import grades then?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, I'm going to stop presenting. Anybody else have a question? I'll look at the comments. Miss Godwin, good lessons asked. Welcome anybody who hopped in. For those of you that just hopped in, Beth shared a spreadsheet of all the kids' emails in the district above in this comment section. You could use if you're missing some emails of students to mass import them into a Google Classroom. And above that, there's a Google Doc where you could add some questions in as well if I'm not getting to them right away.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I saw some people. I was just asking about what was the best platform to use to talk through a PowerPoint presentation in history class. It's one of the things we'll utilize a lot. And I saw a couple of people say Screencastify is a good one to use, but then I'm reading.
Well, it depends. One of two things. So if you're talking about doing it live, is that what you're talking about?
Live or recorded. I mean, I don't know.
So if you were doing it live, I would just say use Google Meet, because much like what I'm doing right now, there's a link that I can just pop into my Google Classroom, and that's how easy the kids get into it. And then I can screen share, and they can see the presentation that I'm sharing with them.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, recording would probably be better, especially for my first block class, we're being honest. I don't know how many of them are going to be awake and ready to go at that early time.
With the recording, so I'm recording this meeting right now, and I've been working on recording these all day, really. Google's recording features are not the best, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because I've been importing these into Drive, and the videos are not playing back for me. So what I would recommend doing personally is one of us have a QuickTime on our computers, QuickTime video player, and I can show you real quick on my screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to viewing your screen, and is there oh, never mind, I got you.
Yeah, I just did it. I'm turning it on and off.
Okay.
So if you see over here, QuickTime Meet Player, if you just click on that, and up here it says new screen recording, and I just hit record, I'm now recording my whole screen, and my voice is being recorded. And you see up here on my top toolbar on my actual computer, that little circle with the square in it. Look at my mouse.
Okay.
That shows you that it's recording. As soon as I hit stop, okay, it pops up, and I exit out of it, and it's going to prompt me to save it.
You just save it on your desktop or something?
Save it to my desktop. I had one named that already. And then what I'm recommending to do it, because when I drive them, your recording could be 10 minutes long. When I drive them into Drive directly and then share them on Google Classroom, they're not loading. I think it's something wrong with Google's video playback. So what I'd recommend doing is with our Gmails, each one of us have a YouTube account. You can literally go to YouTube on our accounts, upload the video. Right here, create a video and more, upload a video, and just share the link with the students. And if you want to talk on the side with that, I can show you how to set it up so it's private. Only people with the link can see it.
Yeah. We'll look at it. I didn't even catch the beginning of it, so I need you to explain that real quick too.
That's fine, but that's a surefire way that I've been doing it that I know it works.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
As long as it works, that's all that matters.
I know all of us are trying to do the best we can, so I definitely implore a lot of people to look at YouTube and see if you can find videos that are approved in our district setting, and you can link them to our classrooms, Google Classroom, simply by just starting something up, add, and you get the link to the YouTube video, and put it in there, and the kids will be able to view it. So even if, it's nice for them to see our faces, but if you're having a really hard time and you want to get some content out to them, that might be a more realistic thing to do. And then in a few days, we'll be able to get you up to speed on how to do the recording of yourself.
Okay. Well, I didn't need my face in there. I was just talking about just going through a PowerPoint slide. And,
Yeah, that would be the screen recording.
Okay. All right, cool.
Is it better to try on it on an iPhone or an iPad and then upload it than it would be to try to do it off our computer screens?
It depends on how long it is, because send email. You're going to be limited to how much you can send in an email of a video. So it'll probably be a lot easier on your computer, Oak, to answer that.
I was going to try to read some of my reading comp parts so that the kids could follow it along or could,
I know what you're saying. You're going to read it out loud.
Make things work for a lot of different types of readers, and I was going to try to read some of these things and just so that they could just follow along with it if they can get on there and just tape it,
Something you might want to consider is, like I told you about the screen record. If you have a digital, if you have the physical copy and not PDF'd, there's a simple way you could scan it with your phone and pull it up on your screen and scroll through and read it and save it in that screen recording method I was just showing as well. And so if you have the PDF version, you're already halfway there. Then us just doing that screen recording, it'll pick up your voice as well as you scroll through it. Let me see comments. My students do not see it in classroom. The better way for the YouTube link to be private or unlisted. So Karen, in the YouTube videos, when you upload them, there is